Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it's been almost 4 years and I thought I'd do an update on the Zero, my 2018 Zero S, and see how it's been going so far. So I have about a little over 26,000 miles on it. When I got it, it only had 1,992 miles. So I've put about 24,000 miles into this in almost 4 years. So that averages out to about 8,000 miles a year. So which is crazy because on my LiveWire, I've had it for 6 months and I'm almost at 8,500 miles. So give you an idea how much I ride on electric. I don't ride my Zero as much these days because of the LiveWire and the differences. And you know, I'm kind of used to the LiveWire now. So the Zero is almost like a completely different experience. But I still enjoy the Zero. I still enjoy, to me, after riding the LiveWire, it seems to have become almost like a scooter. That's what it feels like these days. It's super lightweight, it's very mobile and agile, and it feels like a scooter. It feels like you can just zip through and not worry about anything, whereas the LiveWire just feels like a monster. It feels like a proper motorcycle compared to this now. So I did have an issue where I was riding at night and my headlights and the instrument panel just completely cut off. The bike was still working and everything, but the instrument panel and all the lighting and everything just stopped working. And it came back on, and it happened a couple more times. Well, it turned out that the onboard charger was completely toasted, unfortunately. And this goes into Zero and their customer service a little bit. So we did have a Zero dealer and repair center in Charlotte. Unfortunately, it seems to have they just want to stop working on Zeros altogether. They only want to sell them. So now the closest place is in Greensboro, which is a little bit farther out and everything. So I have to tow it even farther. So what happened is I took it to Charlotte and they essentially towed it to Greensboro, repaired it. It took almost a month for them to order it, get it in, install it, and test it and everything. And then they brought it back to Charlotte. So, and that ended up running about $2,800, which is not great. But I mean, you have no choice. That's one of the downsides of riding electric is you have zero choice when it comes to parts and repairability. There are certain things you can do. For instance, Energica has parts and stuff, and you can do things on your own. But when it comes to, you know, like Zero and LiveWire, there are no like aftermarket or third-party parts that you can get in order to make repairs yourself. As a matter of fact, I tried repairing. I thought the DC to DC converter was the issue, and I tried repairing it myself, and I ended up pretty much bricking the bike. So that's completely my fault. I tried to do it on my own. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to motorcycles in general, as far as repairability, and especially electric. So take that what you will. Unfortunately, that was just the nature of the beast when it comes to Zero and their customer service and their repairability and right to repair. So other little things and quirks that I have found out over the years is, for some reason, I get a lot of bad cupping on the front tire on this. I'm not sure if that's because of my riding style or the tires that I used, Diablo Rosso 2s, and then I used the Michelin Pilot GTs on here, and all of them seem to have the same issue, specifically on the front tire, not so much the back tire. This one doesn't have bad cupping, but there is a noticeable kind of like hump directly in the middle. So if I let go of the handlebars while I'm riding, it tends to shudder a little bit before it straightens itself out, and it's good to go. So I'm not sure what is causing that. I just don't know. I'm kind of just lost on that. I will say that getting parts, you know, for instance, like the plastics or the tank or the side fairings or any of that stuff is really good when it, you know, not so much mechanical parts, but like, you know, visual, like fairings and all that, and handlebars, all that is really good. I forget what the website is called, but there's a website you can go to, I'll just put it up here on screen, where they sell extra parts for it. For instance, I've dropped the Zero, I think a total of 5 or 6 times. I think 3 of those times were at the end of my driveway. There's a slight incline, and just forgetting about it or doing stuff, it just drops. I ended up having to replace the grips, the handlebar, and the left side piece of plastic. And I ordered all those parts from that website, and I was able to put them on myself, no big deal. I do like that about at least the aftermarket sustainability of Zero in case you need anything. Plus the Zero group has a lot of people who are willing to sell you parts, or they have extra fairings and they're willing to, you know, give them up for you. For instance, the left turn signal, since I've dropped it, you know, the front clear plastic has cracked or completely broken off multiple times, and there were plenty of people who were willing to send me just the extra piece. The same with the lettering. I've took the badging off the Zero because there's been a couple times where a letter has just kind of come off, or I've knocked it off by accident, and I've tried putting it back on, it just doesn't stay very well. So I ended up taking it off, and that was another thing where a gentleman had reached out to me after I made a post and said that he had extra letters, and so he mailed them to me directly. So the Zero community is very welcoming and very helpful, sometimes more so than Zero themselves. I've never really had a problem with Zero themselves, but if you look in the Facebook group and on the subreddit, you'll see a lot of people making a lot of complaints and waiting on lemon laws and all kinds of stuff. So you're gonna have to do your own research and see what's going on there. Personally, I haven't had any significant issues aside from the onboard charger, but that's it. As far as all I've replaced on there, aside from cosmetically, you know, tires, front and back, the rear brake, I still have not replaced my front brake after almost 4 years. It's still good to go. But yeah, that's really all about it. I haven't really done anything too significant to it. The ride feel, again, it feels like a scooter. And I had mentioned in a previous video that all the Zero wants to do is stand straight up when you're riding. Not anymore. After riding the Livewire, that thing is so well balanced, and the center of mass is just honed in completely. That now when I take a turn on the Zero, when I lean in, it feels like it just wants to fall over. It doesn't. You know, you have to have confidence in your riding in order to compensate for that, but it still feels very flickable, super lightweight. The trunk, I mean, I miss that so much riding a Livewire. Having the trunk on here is so convenient, especially if you don't like wearing backpacks or anything like that. You don't need a tail bag, really, unless you do a lot of shopping and you carry a lot of items a lot of the times. You don't need to really bother with saddle bags or anything like that, which you can get on the Zero and pretty much any Zero model. But so yeah, that's pretty much all I have as far as an update on the Zero. The experience has been really good. I've enjoyed the Zero quite a bit, and it served me very well all these years. Very happy with my purchase. Again, these days, Zero is, you know, it's hit and miss. You can tell, again, by the Facebook group, you can tell by the subreddits that people are very unhappy with their Zeros, brand new Zeros that have been in the shop for months on end, and they have, you know, they spent all this money and they can't even ride, you know, their purchase, their vehicle. So I would join those groups and have a look, and then, you know, if you're interested in buying a Zero, I would say, honestly, I didn't see a lot of complaints when it comes from like 2016 to about like 2019. And, you know, that 3 or 4 year period, you know, maybe up to 2020, I have not seen a lot of complaints. It tends to be more of the new SRSs, SRF, DSRs, and whatnot. So again, do your research. If you're interested in buying a Zero, I recommend it, at least 2018 Zero S. That's pretty much all I can say. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll be coming out with a couple more videos relating to the Livewire, and I've been getting asked a bunch of questions about beginner gear or riding tips and stuff like that. So I may put out a couple videos regarding that. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.